Hello and welcome to this week's episode. I'm rejoined by Marie Walker from the fantastic Culture Cult travel show and Your Girl Media. Marie is a friend of mine in the podcasting industry, probably the oldest friend actually that I made early doors on Winging It, and has been a great supporter of the podcast since 2021. So I value her time, her input and her stories. Today she's talking about her journey as a digital nomad. She left the USA with a game plan and a bit of travel into Asia and other parts of the world, including Europe, as a digital nomad with her own business. So this conversation is very, very honest, raw, and will showcase the ups and downs, tips and tricks, and things that she has learned on the road, and why she's come back to USA to rescale her business. It's not all plain sailing. The first part is her going off on her venture and coming back because she felt like she had to regroup. Then she went back out into the world as digital nomad and then came back again to rescale her business. So there's lots of troughs like this, up and down. It's a real honest conversation, a lot of cussing, a lot of funny conversations and a lot of stories. But honestly, if you're looking to go out into the world as a digital nomad, this is a great and honest, raw story to get stuck into. So thanks to Marie for coming on. It's a great episode. And before we get into the episode, don't forget to rate and review the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify or YouTube. A follow and a subscribe is greatly appreciated, and 5 stars, of course, for the rating is also appreciated. And if you have time to write a written one, that's great too. If you want to support the podcast, you can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/winging it. That is an easy way to spend $5 to support the production costs of this podcast. And finally, tell your friends about Winging It. Hopefully there's enough stories, travel content for them to come back. And I've got loads more coming into the end of the year, 2025, going into 2026. And finally, if you want to travel with me to El Salvador, there is a link in the show notes with a booking page, and all the information is there if you fancy 10 days in this great emerging country in Central America that I went to in 2024 as a solo backpacker. And honestly, we will have the best time as a group traveling around the country for 10 days. That's all for me. Let's get stuck into the episode with Marie. Marie, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing so good. I'm very excited to be here.
It's great to see you, and it's great to see you back on the podcast as well.
Yes, it's been like 5 years, I think. So shit's changed. Sorry, can I cuss? I forgot. Can I cuss?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, I probably should go if I can't cuss.
I'll keep that in. It's been quite a few years, and it's been a journey since then. So we're going to delve into maybe a bit of a recap of who you are, travel-based stuff and a bit of history. Then we're going to delve into your digital nomad journey. I've got a load of questions about that. Then we'll finish with your business, your podcast, and any other business.
Good.
Do you like that? Cool. Right. So first of all, tell the listeners where you're based right now.
LOL. What a funny question. I don't actually have like a full base. I am right now at my like mom's house in Alabama.
Okay.
And we'll probably get into it, but I got burnt out from a trip last, what's it called? Last year. And I was like,
Yeah.
I need to.
That's what it's called, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I need to come home and I actually wanted to work on my business. So I was like,
Yes.
I'm sure if anyone's listening, I'm just realizing I need a light while you're doing this. I'm realizing it for anyone who's listening that like building your own business while traveling or like scaling or building a business while traveling is hard. Not impossible, but hard.
And I think to add to Marie's statement there, I did the same thing in 2023, right? Went for a year traveling, and I thought I could do the podcast, maybe some YouTube full time and some podcast editing management stuff. Absolutely not.
That's a lot.
Impossible. So what happened is, same as you, came back in 2024 at the start. I was like, no, this has got to be the business phase where I work on my business. So a bit like you, got to get things going and then work to the next phase, which hopefully is a combination of the both business and travel, right? So we both had a similar experience, but you've been on this experience and journey sooner than I have, because I'm still building up to going to that phase, right? So I still got maybe a year to go. Not sure.
Yeah. Building takes time. And that's the cool thing about like, you can go abroad and build your business, just go really slow. Like maybe like go pick one country and just chill in that country. And you can even maybe save money if you live in an expensive country. But like to travel how I was, which was every 3 months. Oh God, no way could you do that and like build your business or scale, or if you're trying to make a big change, it's too much of your energy.
Okay. So before we delve into the details, tell the listeners brief history about you. So where are you initially from?
Mhm.
Where did you grow up? And also, was travel like an early thing for you?
Yeah, I'm from Alabama. Um, Everyone knows the song "Sweet Home Alabama." Like, no matter where you travel, you'll get like people from like Croatia singing it to you, and you're like, "What the hell?" Like, so I'm from Alabama, and some of my earliest memories are "Get me the fuck out of here." Like, my earliest memories are like, "This can't be it. There has to be more." And it was when I went, not moved, when I went to New York when I was like in sixth grade. My eyes were everything opened up for me. I was like, "This is real life. There's cultures, there's busyness, there's craziness." And so, I don't know if that was your question, but it was, I spent most of my childhood very frustrated, and then I went to New York, and then I went to Austria when I was in ninth grade, and that's really when I got my first international taste,
Mm.
and I was like, "Oh my god, this is so much better." Like, this is it was just so one of my first things I saw in Austria was, like, how many sex shops they had, and I come from, like, Alabama where there's only churches, so, like, to see sex shops and, like, cigarette
Yeah.
butts everywhere and, like, I mean, Austria's actually really clean, but, like, that's what I remember because I was, like,
Mm.
it's so opposite from Alabama, and obviously Austria is stunning, so
Does it weird you out that people don't have that feeling of thinking what else is out there? Like the people who just, I can't get my head around this, and this is a thing I've been trying to battle with for years, is how do people think where they are is enough and
Mm.
that's good enough for them without actually trying to go somewhere else like Austria and see these sex shops, right? The first thing I saw was Germany, same thing. We went to a sex
Yeah!
shop, like, this is not
No way.
from, this is like a different world. And it's only like 2 hour flight, right? But this is like on the street, you can walk in. We got told to get out because we're younger than 18, but we gave
Yeah.
it a go. But yeah, that's
Yeah!
kind of a different world, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I am curious about people who don't want to experience other things. That's a lot of people from the South. I I think at least from, like, the American perspective, I think a lot of it is fear.
Mm,
They watch too much news.
yeah.
They're very comfortable, and then I have people like my mom where I think she was just born exactly where she was supposed to be born. Like, she likes it. She loves her family. I think people who are very, very family oriented don't see a reason to, like, travel because they kinda have all their net needs met.
Yeah.
I guess I'm thinking it's fear or, like, they're just lucky they were born where they're born, that they liked it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? I think privilege is here, isn't it? Like, if you're from a country that has obviously not got a safe home, drinking water, then obviously there could be a big urge to leave just to make it easier for yourself, right? But I guess in the Western society, yeah, like what drives people to go and then what drives people to stay, they're
Mm.
both completely different. I have no idea why we are different, why we want to go, and then why people are just absolutely fine in their hometown, home city forever.
Oh god. Wow. And also, like, I just love how when you meet a traveler, all these travelers you meet on these trips, you're like, "Whoa, we all booked a ticket to this
Yeah.
one spot, and we all have different reasons. We all had separate lives before we all got on that plane. And like, who were we and how have we changed? And like, everyone's traveling for such different reasons. Maybe a breakup, maybe hates their job, maybe like, I don't know, like you're curious about India. Like, I don't know. Just it's so cool how everyone travels for different reasons. And each time you travel, so for different reasons.
Yeah,
Like,
I remember the first time was I just need to get out.
yeah.
And I know people will talk about this like nervous journey from maybe thinking about it to booking it to going. Mine
Mm.
was the opposite. I was like, I booked it a year in advance. I was counting down the days. I couldn't wait to leave. I had to finish my degree, save some more money, then go, right? So I had a year to do it. But the overwhelming feeling was excitement and relief. That was what I
I
remember.
think people do get that feeling though. They're like, "Oh, I'd love to go. I'd like to go to Mexico, but I don't know." And then like they'll never book the ticket. I think you literally have to book the
Yeah.
ticket and then figure it out later. Like that's how I was with Australia. It took me years to get to Australia because I
Mm.
mentally wasn't excited about the flight, and it was so
It's long.
chill. Like it was literally fine. Like, it was so fine. I just, I booked it. I just, like, I need to shut the fuck up and go. Like, because my friend's visa was ending and she wanted me to visit her,
Yeah,
and, I was like, "This is ridiculous." Like, it's been 3 years of me saying I'm gonna go, so I booked it and then figure it out later. Like, you'll love it once you get there,
absolutely.
honestly.
Best way to do it. Yeah, yeah. Australia for me was like what you said earlier about, oh, it's like home, but much better.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Australia, it's like if America had their shit together. Both have beautiful nature,
Yeah.
both have really nice people, but Australia's government is so much more calm and better. I'm sure there's some Aussies who are like, "What are you talking about?" But, like, listen, hello, I'm from America. Like, I'm coming from that perspective,
Yeah.
and, like, it's safe, it's beautiful, like, I'm like, this is who we should be looking at."
Yeah.
It's very similar. at least like the countryside and nature.
Interesting relationship between you two, Australia and USA.
Oh
Got a
god.
similar background. Maybe Australia's slightly newer, but both broke away sort of from the British Empire, but have gone slightly different directions.
Yeah, well, they had convicts and we
Yeah.
had religious freaks. So I think that's
There you go.
actually what defined the difference between the 2 countries, is,
Yeah.
like, we had religious freaks that were like, "Oh my god, these pilgrims were crazy," and then burning people at the stake and stuff, and then, like, oh my god, just their clothing,
Grim
and then
stuff.
you have
Yeah.
the Aussies were just like, "Well, we were shipped here."
Yeah.
So I do think that, like, comes with the temperament, like, the temperament is a bit different. We're kinda, like, religiously zealous over here, and I don't think that's, like, as crazy over there.
Yeah, because they both had a chance to create their own society, and I guess the prisoners were banned from the UK because they're prisoners, they're criminals. But in Australia, a new country, a new set of laws, they could probably go, do you know what? This is a chance for us to be free again from
Mm,
the law and start
mhm.
again and create a country maybe different to what UK is, because UK is dominated by class, the
Yeah.
aristocracy, and all that sort of stuff, right? So this is a new chance to go the new way, and they've done all right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like that comes with that attitude of, like, they're just so cool and chill, everything like, when I was in Australia, I feel like I was being gaslit the whole time because I
Mm.
was freaking out about the spiders and the poisonous snakes, and they're like, "Oh, you be alright." I can't do the accent. Let me stop, actually. That's
Yeah,
actually so
so
embarrassing. Cut that.
was that
Um,
Cockney or was that London
no,
or?
I know, I can only do British accents, but even not really. Alright, let's insert Australian accent here that they're like, "You're fine, chill out," and I'm like, "I'm being gaslit," but I think that's just their energy, like, "Everything's be alright, you'll be fine." I think that comes from being, the ancestors of convicts.
Yeah. I keep thinking about Jim Jeffries' skit about the Constitution,
Love him.
because I think he had some like line about US Constitution that they think they got the best one in the world. He's like, "Don't worry, America. Everyone else has got one. Australia's got a great one. I don't know what it says, but we're doing all right.
That's so
If something's
funny.
bad or something needs to be changed, we'll have a discussion about it. We'll make a few changes, and that's it."
That's so funny. I
Yeah.
know. I think is the thing is with America that I think is incredible is we were the first to be this like guinea pig for democracy. So
Mm,
of course we're the shit show because we're the first. We're the guinea pig. And
mm,
then like Europe and Australia got to watch us make mistakes and be like, let's not do that. So I think
yeah.
that's why we are such like a spicy country
Yes.
topic. Cause like
Spicy.
we're the first. So
Yeah.
we're making all the mistakes like in front of everyone.
Yeah. Spicy. Good word. I
Yeah.
like
Spicy.
that. Right. Last question before we delve into some questions about digital nomad is, what type of traveler are you?
Oh my
Imagine
god.
no digital nomad, you're traveling, you're seeing places. What type are
Okay.
you?
I like that question. Like, I'm not bringing my work with me?
No.
Hmm. Okay. I love to I'm trying to think of, like okay, I still am bougie. I'm not into hostels because I like my own space. Like, my sleep is king. It's
Yeah.
it's very important to me. But I think I'm, like, into co-livings. I'm really into camping. My ideal trip is to, like, walk across, like, a continent. Like, I
Oh
would like to
yeah.
do, like I like traveling for long periods of time, at least 3
Mm.
months, to really, like, see the changes in myself and, like, really get in depth in the travel. But I am a little bit bougie. Like, I'm not into I don't wanna share a room with 12 people. Like, that's ridiculous. But other
Oh,
than that, I'm very I can be spontaneous, but I'm a mix between type A and type B, I think,
okay. That's
traveler.
actually what you said there. Really quite interesting. That's on my list of things to do in the future. Is that, yeah, 3 month trip where you just walk
I wanna do
from
that.
one. It could be an area, a continent, not a continent, but like a part of a continent or one country. Just walk, and that's your trip. I'd love to do that. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, just to see, like make it actually I guess I'm more into, like, journeys than, like, trips. Like, I
Yeah.
wanna have a see a change in myself, at the end of the trip and, like, have really in-depth relationships with people. So,
So off the top of your
um
head, if you were to do that, right, where'd you go? Like that 3 month walking trip. What area of the world or country or place, where are you going to choose?
That's such a good question because it really depends on, like, which terrain can I handle. Like, I
Mm.
can't do America because, like, it could be 100 miles before you get help.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
like, that would be, like no, that's, like, level 10. I think Europe would be the easiest to start, I think because the towns are not that far, and you can, like, you pop into a pub. I think level 1. I'd like to start there, but I eventually would like to do I like to do the Himalayas in India. because my
Yeah.
uncle did that, and he said, like, you go and camp, and there's, like, little tiny tents where you can get, like, chai tea and stuff and, like,
Tea
little
houses.
stops along the way. So, I'll say right now, the Himalayas in India.
I think the Himalayas, Nepal, India.
Yes.
I think if you just walk and just whatever tea house you come to where you just feel like you've done, that's such a dreamy way to see the mountains and the local villages, because there's so many of them, right? You can literally wing it a little bit if you're
Mm,
following like major paths and major routes. And there'd be so many options. Like, oh, do you know what? I only want to walk 5 miles today, and I'll just stop here and stay here.
yeah.
We done that on in Nepal when we finished our trek and we were on the way back, but the guy took us a different route to the main route, and we're going through these back villages, and he said, "Oh, do you want to stop here and sleep here?" And it's perched on this hill. There's a guest house. The
Oh my
view
god.
was incredible. We're like, "Yeah, we're having tea and we're having dal bat. This is it." So that's
That's what I wanna
unbelievable.
do.
Yeah.
That's so good. Also Japan.
Oh
Japan
yeah.
and Korea both have, like, extensive biking trails. So,
Yes.
I loved Korea, by the way, like, I would love to go back and actually
Oh
do a
yeah.
biking trail, but I
Mm.
think for friendliness, you would have a little bit more help in Japan.
Yes. Even Taiwan got good biking routes as well.
Oh, I can see that. Oh my god. See, so
Yeah.
I'm thinking Asia. I'm thinking
East
probably somewhere
Asia.
Asia for, like, a long trip, maybe solo, but I think Europe would be the easiest to try.
Imagine walking Japan. Oh, that'd be
I know, and,
so
like, little
good.
Shibas everywhere maybe following you. There's this one guy, he did that, he's doing that, and he has a Shiba Inu following him, sleeping with him in his tent. I'm like, "Yeah, you stole my dream.
Yeah.
That's my dream. Fuck."
Wow. Oh, one day, one day.
Yeah, one day.
Okay, let's go to business.
Yes.
Right. So tell us a brief backstory of leading up to going to be a digital nomad. So you mentioned earlier
Mm,
that you were in Alabama. You were kind of not having your own business, and I guess you might be traveling here and there. But what was the journey from like, do you know what? I need to knuckle down, get my business sorted so I can leave to go to be a digital nomad. How long was that, and how difficult was it to plan for that?
um, actually, it didn't start like that.
Oh,
It started no, but I mean, like, that's how you'd assume. It started off with, me coming home from a late night work shift and a homeless man being in my house asleep.
what?
Yeah, and I'll explain. So the week of that year, like, I really was like, "I really wanna go travel, but I didn't wanna leave my home in LA because I think it was epic home." Like, I lived on top of a roof. They made a unit on a rooftop,
Mm,
and I was the
wow.
only one that should have access to that roof, and so I threw parties, music videos, like, I had the coolest, dopest spot, but it was in a really bad neighborhood, and so I didn't wanna leave. I didn't wanna leave. But then somehow I got bed bugs, and I was like, "Now how do I have bed bugs with no neighbors?" That doesn't make any sense 'cause
Yeah.
I don't hang
Mm,
out with people that have bed bugs. So
mm.
when I came home and there was a homeless man in my house, I realized that man has been sleeping on my couch outside. That's why I had bed bugs.
Like
And that
for
was
like
my
weeks, months.
probably 3 weeks. And he didn't attack me. I think he was
Oh yeah.
confused. Like, he genuinely was confused as if, like, he lived there. I was like, "Bro, get up." No, that's not what happened. I actually screamed. Um, but that was the catalyst of, like, "Okay, I think I need to leave LA." And I at that point, I was like, "I'll just go." My friend had a place in Nashville. She's like, "Here's a free room. You can, work at a restaurant and do whatever." So I was like, "Okay, fine. I'll go to Nashville." And I was like, "I'll just go to Nashville for 6 months and then Australia," 'cause Australia has so many jobs. But then I found, our friend Deani Hall from
Oh
the Well
yeah.
podcast, and she was posting how she was traveling and working, and I was like, "What?" And she was like, "Oh, I'm in a program called the Digital Nomad Life Academy." And that is my now business coach, Krista Romano, and that woman single-handedly changed my life. I don't wanna think about if I hadn't joined her program. It would freak me out. Like, I'd probably be, like, still working in restaurants and, like not that
Mm,
that's not bad, but guys, I've been working in restaurants, like, 15 years. Like, I was
yeah.
done. So yeah, I joined her business program. It was more about building a business than traveling. And, I built my podcast production business, and from there, I just started traveling. It took me about 6 months to get it going, and then in the 6th month, I booked my trip to Europe, and for the past 3 years, I've been beat bopping, back and packing, doing all that shit. So it was more like I wanted to build a business, and then because the business gives me freedom, I'm traveling.
So how did you see the next phase? Was it sort of like half travel, half working, or were you like how were you marrying up just working in a different place like Europe as opposed to actually traveling and seeing it?
Yeah, so, like, I think when you're starting a business, it's kinda like revving a car, like, you'll you'll rev the car and you'll go a little bit and then the gas will break and stop. And then you rev the car and you go a little bit and then it'll break and stop. So when I've had the harder months, the more stale months, I come home to Alabama because here I just go to the gym and work. This is where I scale. So I
Hmm.
come here and I scale the shit out of my business. And then it's going well. I go travel. I traveled for 10 months and the business is going well, but I was like, I want to be hitting certain numbers. And so I came back here. So I've just been using my mom's house for like 2 to 3 months whenever I'm like, I need to sit down and work on my business. And the other times I've been abroad.
And how much did you think you need to get in your business per month to think, do you know what, this is enough money I can earn on my own to then go
Yeah.
and be a digital nomad? Was there a figure in mind?
Um, no, I think that comes down to your comfortability. If you're down for
Hmm.
like hostels and you're down for like, staying in, you can stay in cheap countries and like live really, really well. Actually my first year, I actually like traveled and just stayed with friends. That was too
Oh,
fast to travel because I didn't want to be rude, so I'd stay there for like a week and a half. And so I was traveling really fast, and staying on friends' couches. But again, that was too fast for me, and I don't really recommend that. But I think you should budget out your trip and be like, okay, I'm gonna pick Thailand. I think that's a great, great place to start.
yes.
Um, and then like bring up like look at the cost, like a realistic cost, and be like, okay, what do I actually need to make? And just go from there,
Mm.
but you can definitely start traveling on a low budget. Like, I don't think you need to wait till a certain number. Now, the lifestyle might change. Now that I'm a like co-living Airbnb person, I like want to make a certain amount of money.
Yes, but you need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Am I right in thinking actually you had, and tell me if I'm wrong, you had the first time going, then you came back to
Mhm.
Alabama, then you went again?
Yeah.
So what am I'm maybe remembering the second time you went, because I know I saw on social media you're out like in Asia and co-living there and went to Australia and all that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah, now I'm confused about my journey. I feel like I went to okay, so I did Chris's program, graduated, got clients, went to
Yeah.
Europe for 3 months, traveled
Yeah.
too fast.
Yes.
Then I lost 3 of my 5 clients that November in the same, like, week, and I was like, "What's going on here?" And so then I didn't do anything wrong, it's just more like I realized I need to be working with clients who have businesses, not, like, passion projects. So now
Yes.
I only work with 6 to 7-figure coaches, blah, blah, blah. But it took me about 6 months to, like, gain a couple more clients.
Hmm.
Then what did I do after that? I think I went back to Europe? I'm, like, confused. Oh, no, that was this past trip, and then and then I went to my business was doing very well. I went to Europe, Asia, Southeast Asia, Australia, and I traveled for 10 months, and now my business is doing well. I just wanted to learn about the skill of high ticket closing. I invested in a program. I'm scaling
Hmm.
my business, so I came back here again.
Okay, so let's go to the 10-month trip. I think
Yeah.
that's what I had in my mind. First of all, I don't know where to start with this. Let's go with, I actually want to know, planning for that 10-month trip. Is there things that are quite underrated in terms of planning? Like, is there stuff that come up that you think, oh, I should have thought about that? Could be travel insurance, could be, I'm just making things up. Was there things that came up before you went, like, oh yeah, I need to sort this out. I need to go somewhere with
Mhm.
good internet, like all these things? Or did you just kind of wing it and see how you went? Because I'm
Yeah.
guessing you need good internet to
Yeah, you
work,
do.
and you need probably not safe, probably a good place to work that's quiet, maybe a community there as well. So how did you start
Yeah.
planning this?
Yeah, I mean, I winged it, but I have my non-negotiables, and there's such a difference between backpacking and being a digital nomad. Like,
Oh,
if
that's
you've ever
coming.
been
That question's coming. Yeah.
yeah, like, and I'll get into that, but, like, being a digital nomad, like, you do need things, like, your business should always come first before your travels, like, I'm
Hmm.
sorry. Like, that's what gives your lifestyle, so I invest a lot of money. Most of my budget goes towards where I live because 'cause I'm like, I need to make sure it's safe, it's nice, it's, good sleep, and there's good internet. Like, so that's where my budget goes to. But most places have good internet, honestly, and you can
Hmm.
always go to co-working. Co-living.com is a great resource if you're looking for co-livings. The best one I stayed at was in Thailand, where you have your own digital nomad, like, community neighborhood.
Oh,
So you have your
wow.
own home on stilts and a porch and, like, a little fun chair, like an egg chair, and then all the homes are surrounded by a pool, a co-working, and a cafe, and you're, like, a 15-minute walk to the beach. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna share what it is because this island's very special, and I don't wanna overrun. So if you want it, you can message James or me, but, like, I don't feel like
Hmm.
I don't really like the over tourism that I've seen while traveling. So I don't
Oh,
want to, I don't know
okay.
how big your podcast is going to get. It's already doing well. I don't want you to blow up and then I overrun this island, you know? So if you're actually interested in checking
Blacklisted
out,
on the island, you are. Yeah.
yeah, let's not like ruin the island because of James' successful podcast. So just message James or me and I'll actually send you the details on where that co-living. But coliving.com is a great resource. And I think there's one called like Surf and I use coliving.com.
Yeah. Okay. And let's go to the question of the difference between backpack and digital nomad.
Yeah.
People might think they're the same, but I can imagine they're completely different. And can you even marry the two? Can you do 1 month digital nomad, like on the same trips? Let's say you left USA, you're not coming back for a year. Could you do like 1 month digital nomad, 1 month backpacking? Or is that just
Yeah.
unrealistic because your business needs you to be concentrating on the work for at least 2 or 3 months at a time?
I mean, it's really down to your business, you know, like
Mm,
my friend, Andrea, she has a website business and she has people on payment plans. So she just took 2 months off to Peru because she knew she was getting payment plans and she didn't do any work on her business. But now it's September and she's like, I have no leads. I have no marketing. I'm like, yeah, because it is something you do need to constantly be working on if you want cash in her business.
yeah.
I have retainer clients. So I did a month in Korea and I didn't work.
Okay.
So you can like turn it off and on. But I think the difference within backpacking digital nomads is like with backpacking, like there's so much spontaneity and there's
Yes.
so much like risk and like you don't care if you end up sleeping like on a bus for 12 hours or you don't care if like you kind of want not stuff to go bad, but you want that story.
Yes.
And I think with being a digital nomad, I can't take the risk of getting a crazy story because I'm like, I got clients. Like I can't be having too
Yeah.
crazy of shit. And that's why it does lose that thing in travel that like I didn't have as much crazy stories in that 10 months of trips versus like when I did 3 months of backpacking in the first time.
Mm.
You're just so much more open to like the chaos of travel.
So when you went that month for that 10-month trip, did you think actually most of this is going to be just working, but in a different location? Or did you have like a time scale in mind where maybe at the 10 months, I do want to do 2 months of travel as a backpacker? Did you have that sort of thing in your mind? Or were you literally going to go month to month
Yeah.
and see how busy you were?
I think my job is so chill, like, I don't need to take a break from it, like, it doesn't exhaust me.
Okay.
I highly recommend I mean, James is doing it now, like, podcast editing is, I think, a great job to break into if building your
Oh,
business.
yeah.
It's really easy. You literally get on no meetings. You can be on any time zone.
Mm.
It's literally you're getting paid to edit incredible podcasts. That's
Yeah.
it. So I'm not like, fuck, I need a month off. I'm exhausted. I just kind of just kept going until Korea. And Korea is like a bucket list for me. And I was like, I want the whole trip to just be about food and spas.
And was it?
Yeah, it was. I literally was in spa every other day. I was like, this is getting crazy. Yeah, I loved Korea. It's a crazy place though.
How did the first 3 months of the second trip, the 10-month trip, compared to the first 3 months of the previous trip where you're in Europe? Like, was there any
Mm,
significant changes or ways that you were doing things, or was it quite similar, but you just had a more regular income?
totally different. My first time, I was sleeping at friends' houses, so I didn't want to be rude, so I'd stay there for like a week and then like fuck off. That was a lot. By the end of the trip, I felt so burnt out and so like sad. I was like, oh my God, I'm just zipping into people's lives and they have their
Uh,
jobs, their boyfriends, their routines, and I'm just zipping in and out. And I felt like a ghost. I was like in and out, in and out, in and out. And I was like, I don't like that. Um, and then now I did 2 to 3 months per country. Like I just
mm,
maxed out the visas. So this time, like I did 2 months in Lisbon and ah, man, I just had to make a whole group of friends everywhere I went, I had a group of friends. I maybe able to date someone, truly date someone, and, like, have my gym, have my routines, and I just went as slow as possible.
Ready for an adventure that's raw, real, and totally unforgettable? Then join me, James Hammond, on my first ever guided tour of El Salvador from November 19th to 29th in 2026. We'll hike volcanoes, wander around colonial towns, learn to cook pupusas, and chill at black sand beaches. Spots are limited to 12 travellers with a minimum of 6 to book, and there's an early bird pricing of $3,995 US. That includes hotels, airport transfers, transportation, meals, and all the rest. So grab your backpack and book your spot. The link is in the description, or you can scan this QR code to book right now. Let's explore El Salvador together. See you there.
Essentially, yeah, the slower you travel, just the deeper the relationships you can have. So I think if you're traveling for a long time, I would would go slow because I think you will start
Mm,
to feel lonely and burnt out because I mean I feel like travel's all about the people you meet. I think that's a big part of it.
yeah. And also, I think as a digital nomad, my next question is: did you have like a little community of people that you routinely lived with for like 1 or 2 months at a time, or was it always different people because you're moving different places?
It was different. Like in Lisbon, so there's something called Flatio, Flatio,
Oh, okay.
and it's better than Airbnb because it's called Flatio because there's flat fees. Like it's just flat. The
Oh,
price is flat.
yeah.
So I used Flatio and I got teamed up with like I was in this random guy's apartment. No, I was in a random apartment and I got teamed up with this person named Tom. And I was like, all I knew was he was Tom. His name was Tom and he was British. And I was like, okay, cool. And we met and we were instantly best friends. And then there was a third room open, and I asked the landlord, I was like, can my friend Andrea, who's also my client, I was like, can she come and stay in the other room and pay rent for that? And he was like, okay. So it was me, Andrea, and Tom for 2 months in Lisbon, and our house became like the house to come to, like the party house, and like it was epic. Like, so I recommend Flatio because you won't usually get your own space. You'll kind of be assigned like a roommate, but
Okay.
my first roommate wasn't that great, but the second one was great. So like anything, you never know. But I thought Flatio was good, and then the co-living. After that, I lived on my own. Like
Yeah.
I had my own spaces.
And then the second month, the second trip, the 10-month trip, you were living in like specific co-living, co-working spaces.
What did I do? Yeah, no, so the one in Thailand is a co-living
Yeah.
technically, but you have your own house. You
Hmm.
just share the pool, the cafe, and the co-working. And then
True.
after that, my friend in Australia was like, "Come to Australia." Like, and I pretty much lived in like an ant infested fucking whatever the hell. What was it? Like a camper and then a tent.
Oh, like a RV?
Yeah, I mean, there was like no Wi-Fi and I was working and it was, oh my God, the car she gave me was actually ant infested. The ants had created a colony in the engine. And so I'm driving it and there's ants crawling everywhere. Like, oh, it was, yeah, Australia. I need to read you Australia. Australia was not
Yeah.
fun. Honestly, it
Okay.
was really stressful. And I think it's because that was the one time I was like very type B about my accommodation. I was like, I can live in an ant infested camper while working. No. I
Is
think
that
if I was
the
backpacking, it would have been
yeah?
if I was backpacking, I would have thought it was fun. But when you need Wi-Fi and no bugs when you work, it was not great.
Is that because of like cost? The money is a thing in
No,
Australia, or that's not really a
I really should have set up my own accommodation. She just really wanted me to like come visit her, and then she
oh
made it
fair.
sound kind of fun. And then I got there, and I was like, "Why are there like massive spiders and poisonous snakes everywhere?" And oh, by the way, there's no toilet. No toilet. For
Ooh.
a month, there was a pot,
It's so earthy.
and I found a spider in the pot one time. So then I didn't go to the
Oh,
bathroom for like a week. I would drive into
oh,
town, which was 45 minutes to go to the bathroom at the public
that
bathroom.
no, not for me.
So
Not having that.
that was the one time I was very type B about my accommodation, and I
Yeah,
regret that. So I think I am a bit type A about accommodation
got it.
while being having a business.
And was there a moment in time, this could be it, what you just described, where the expectation is not quite matching the reality of your digital nomad
Um, I wouldn't
life?
say like I don't go into any. I try to not go into any country with any expectation because what you think about the place is actually gonna be not the experience you have. You always have like it always will surprise you.
Yeah.
I think the expectation about being a digital nomad that I think people aren't telling you on the internet
Yes.
it's lonely. Like it
Mm.
is. You're like I like having a home. I like having a routine. I like having my group of friends. So that's why I travel slow so I can get a taste of that.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't really recommend doing it for like ever. Like I can't wait to have a home again, like a home base again. So I don't think people make it all like come to Bali and like be a fucking digital nomad. And it's like you first of all need to build a business. That's going to take
Yes.
a lot of
Yes.
hard blood, sweat, and sacrifice.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you have a remote job, like that's cool. But I'm talking if you're having a business. And then also, it gets lonely. Like I remember I was in Korea. I actually went home because I was like, I hit this wave of loneliness, and I just drove me crazy. I was like, I need to go. I need to like just go somewhere familiar. So I came back to Alabama to like scale my business. But in Korea, though I loved it, it was after like after going to Lisbon and then building a community in Thailand and then building a community in Australia and then building a community in Indonesia and then repeating the same thing in Vietnam and then going to Korea, I was like, I don't have it in me to like make a whole new group of friends, find a whole new
Yeah.
gym, I was so done. And I actually canceled my trip to Japan, and while the Uber was on the way to come pick me up, I was like, I actually can't do it.
So you finished your trip early.
I did. Yeah. And I'll go to Japan. I wanted to go to Japan on a high. I didn't want to go burnt out.
So what was the main? You mentioned loneliness, but I don't know. Sometimes you stick it out, so it must have been really bad if you're like, do you know what? I'm just gonna quit it here
It
and
was.
recalibrate.
It was. Yeah. I just having to rebuild your whole life over and over, because that's the thing when you do these long-term trips, like, do you make these genuine relationships and genuine
Mm,
connections with these countries? And then to repeat that over and over, like, your body's, like, burnt. So, it was nothing against Korea. I actually really love Korea, but actually that added to it. I think Koreans like to stick with themselves.
of course.
So, and
Yeah.
it wasn't like a big community, digital nomad community. So, I really did just spa it out, which you can only have
Sweat it
so
out.
much reflection in the hot sauna before you're
Yeah.
like, I would like some normalcy. So, yeah, I think I'm glad I ended it when I ended it. Yeah.
Were you not tempted to like stick to one of your favorite countries for longer, like Thailand or?
I was done, and I just knew like
Oh,
I was gonna do a lot of hard stuff in my business to hit certain numbers, so I needed to just go home, or
okay.
like home as in Alabama, and just scale and go to the gym and just scale and go to the gym.
So if you scaled enough, where you think, do you know what, this is a nice little place I'm at, you could have stayed in those places longer, I guess, on that trip then, because you don't need to go home to scale. Or do you think you always would go back to your home base, maybe in LA, like just to
The goal is
chill out
LA.
and
The goal is
yeah.
My goal is like next year I want to go back to LA like next summer. So right now the plan is I'm going to Mexico and I'm gonna see if I like it there to use it as a home base till I go to LA.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
but no, I'm on that like I'm specifically that trip, that 10-month trip, like I was pretty done.
Right.
Like I didn't even want to go in another country. Like I was like, I just need to not think. Like, when you're abroad, your brain is kind of on overdrive a lot. Like
Yes.
thinking about like the language, the customs, making sure you're polite, like making sure you're not like, the money exchanges, like your brain is subconsciously working. So I think I was just mentally done. So,
So what else contributed towards that? You mentioned loneliness. You mentioned trying to create new groups of friends. Like, what else is part of the digital nomad life that you learned that maybe, do you know what, that's actually quite hard to deal with?
mm, the one thing I noticed is, it's not like it's hard. Again, went back to that backtracking versus travel. Like when I'm backpacking, like I don't care to plan and I don't care to have everything perfect. But when this is your lifestyle, like my standards go up, like of where I live and my gym, and so I'm not traveling to these like really cool,
Mm,
exotic like places. I'm going to places that I know have these things, and then in exchange for that, those are places that are probably gentrified, and I don't love that. I don't love. And Bali was the place I saw that. I was like, whoa, this is wrong. Like
yeah.
this is the worst part of digital nomadism is
Hmm.
Bali. What's happened to Bali, not the country, not the people. We shouldn't be using countries as our like make a life, build a life, And like I feel like people are just going to Bali because it's cheap. You can build villas, which I don't agree with, and you can um just yeah, build a better life than you get in your home country. And I'm part of that. I'm not fucking shitting on it. Like but I think Bali is the catalyst of the worst thing that's happening in digital nomadism for sure. For sure.
Yeah, I guess a lot of people might be asking, well, why not just be a digital nomad at home? So why do you think people do live in somewhere like Bali or
Yeah.
Thailand for longer than maybe like staying at home? So let's say like they go to Thailand, get a 6 month tourist visa, dip out for a weekend, back in for another 6 months and stuff. Why do you think people do that in places like that? Because I imagine I heard like for Bali, for example, it's not actually that cheap in that gentrified area.
No, it's not.
Like the gyms are the same price as Western areas and
Mhm.
all this sort of stuff. So what's the point doing it in a
Yeah.
different country?
I would like to talk about my business coach, Krista, because she loves Bali, and, like, that's where
Oh,
she finds all of her community, and, like, I think that's what it is most digital nomads, not all of them, a majority have their own business,
yeah.
and it is awesome. The digital nomad community is awesome because we are mostly business owners. So if you can surround yourself around other
Yes.
business owners, your mindset, your business will only scale further. So I think that's why people like Medellin, Lisbon, these hubs,
Yeah.
Bali. And like that's the beautiful thing about being a digital
Yeah.
nomad. Like that is we're making our own world. We're making our own communities. I think that's what's attractive. I just think we just could need to make sure we're not only using a country
Yes.
for those reasons. I have to check myself a lot. Make sure, okay, am I going to this country for what reason? Like, what's the real purpose? Am I actually going because I like that there's a digital nomad community, or do I like it because I actually like the culture?
Yes.
So it's just like check yourself. Like, make sure you're checking yourself. You're not part of the problem.
I think I'd be really uncomfortable if I was going somewhere. I don't like Bali at all, but let's use that as an example.
Yeah.
If I was just going there just to be in a community that's for the Westerners and not for the Balinese, or at least I'm not even interacting with Balinese. I'm like, what am I doing here? Like, I
No,
have to
literally, what
interact and contribute to the local economy because otherwise you are literally taking the piss.
Yes. Yes. That's the thing is like, that's how you need to check yourself. Be like, what is my day-to-day activities? Who am I talking to?
Mm.
Like, what am I doing here? And if like none of that has anything to do with the country, then yes, you are using that country. And like, it's okay. Just check yourself. Like
Yeah.
I do it too. I need to check myself. Like when I go to Mexico, I'm like, okay, I really want to make sure I'm taking language classes. I'm renting from someone
Yes.
from Oaxaca.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I want to make sure I'm doing some cultural stuff. I'm not just here because I'm like, oh, it's cheap. Because that's not good.
Yeah. Cheap is not a good word to use.
Yeah.
I've actually learned probably this year
Yeah.
actually in my own social media posts and Instagram and even podcasts, like you can't say cheap because being cheap is not great. Like good value is a good sentence to use or phrase,
Mhm.
but like cheap, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't want to like knock on anyone if they like do like Bali and all these places. It wasn't for me. I think it's like if you don't travel as much. Oh my gosh, is the internet bad?
No, it's good. Is it?
Okay.
I
I
don't
think you're frozen. Okay.
know. Okay.
I'm so nervous now. But I think if you don't travel as much, I think there's certain countries that are a great starter. Like I think it's a great starter pack. Thailand,
Yes.
Bali. That's totally fine. I think that's why people resonate with it. But just if you're traveling a lot, you see the patterns of over tourism and you're like, oh God, am I part of this?
Because I think this is going to come to my next question and comment is, if I was going to be digital nomad tomorrow and I was going to Indonesia, let's take Indonesia, the country, there is no way I'm going to Bali. I'm like, what's the point? There's like 600 other islands. As long as it's got good internet, you obviously got to make sure you can work. Why not just go and house yourself or sift yourself into a culture where there'd be very little tourists and just soak up that local culture rather than going somewhere where there's loads of the similar kind of people? That could be for any country. You
Yeah.
can mention Vietnam, for example. There's a whole host of towns in Vietnam that we don't travel to, that locals travel to because we all go to the same places.
Yeah.
Go and put yourself in one of those towns and to see what it's like.
And I was so guilty of that. Like, I actually don't think I would give myself a great rating as a tourist last year. Like, for example, I went to Portugal.
Yeah.
I did not leave Lisbon. I had so much fun in Lisbon. I didn't leave. So I couldn't tell you shit about Portugal. Bad rating, but I had a great time. So I don't know what that means. Actually, all the places, I think it goes back to like, I'm not backpacking, I'm doing it as a digital nomad. So I'm already kind of exhausted. So like, I don't feel like adding more travel on top of more travel versus when I was a backpacker, I like moved around quickly and I was like, oh, what's this random town? Let's go here. I was just more curious, more adventurous. And I can't wait to get back to that. I can't wait till I have like a home base. And I'm like, I'm going to go to this random country in Africa and have zero plans. And I do think like that added on to why I wasn't as good of a traveler because I was exhausted.
Yeah. I think for me, it literally be next time I'm going to go, like work somewhere for a month. I'm going to go somewhere in a country that I've never heard of and just do it there.
Yeah.
Because I'd feel comfortable in that and I see it as a challenge as well. I guess a lot of people don't want that or don't need that because they're trying to scale the business or whatever. So they have to go to communities that as big as Bali, right? I can imagine that. But why not just, I guess live like a local properly for once. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. But yeah, I'm guilty.
Maybe easier said than done. Not sure.
Yeah, I think at this time in my life, like I'm pretty burnt out from travel a little bit. So I'm not as being as adventurous and I really can't wait to like I reverse all this and I have a home base and I can actually just like go travel to just travel and not bring my laptop. That would be ideal. But at the same time, being a digital nomad has brought me the coolest fucking experiences. So everything's for a season, really.
So do you think you'll ever be a digital nomad in the sense like you were? Do you think you would ever go again to Asia, for example, and just plot yourself in different countries for 6 months? Or do you think
Yeah.
that phase is over?
Yeah, I totally would do that again.
Even if you
Yeah.
had your home base in LA?
Oh yeah, I would totally do that again. Like,
Okay.
it's just would I go for 10 months? No. I think 6 months is my max. I think
Okay.
that is like I think I pushed it too much actually after 6 months for me. But everyone's so different. Like everyone be like, I've been traveling for 3 years straight and I'm fine. And some people
Yeah.
can't do even a month.
I think the problem for us though, being creators and doing podcast stuff is I really put emphasis on the home base for that quiet studio time, or at least a room where I can literally work and do creative stuff, because I think it's quite hard to do on the road. You got to maybe find somewhere quiet, maybe a good table and a good chair. Like I just need that home base to go and do my podcast or YouTube, whatever, right?
Yeah. No, I mean that's pretty important too. And I also feel like my podcast has been put on the side
Right.
between travel and building my business. Like my podcast has become like the step baby. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, but I don't want it to be, but like it's hard to how you were saying, how you were traveling and then you were trying to
Yeah.
do your podcast, build a community, build your business. Like yeah, there's only so you're only a person, like at the end of the day. So it does take a lot out of you, but then the experiences you have, you just get to have more experiences because you are like you have the money to like live somewhere longer versus backpackers. I think they
Yes.
go till their money runs out.
Yeah.
And then
Mm.
actually now you literally need to go home.
Yeah. And that is a tough place to be.
Yeah, and that's also exciting if you get that rush from it. But like as a nomad, like yeah, you can be like, oh, I can. Where's the next country? Let's go. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I can do the long-term travel without an income anymore. I think I'm done with that phase. I've done it for 10, 12 years. I think I'm done.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Can I ask you why? Because we're on different spectrums right now.
Yeah, because I can't deal with the stress of running out of money, trying to find myself a job I'm not going to like in a place that's going to be fairly expensive, like a Western country. It's too stressful. Can't deal with it.
Yes. Oh
I'm
my
like
God.
you. I need a home base and I
Yeah.
need an income, business income. That's the
Totally.
big aim.
Because that's another version of exhausting part of travel is like you go on this trip and then you have to reset your life, go find a new job, go find all
Mm.
this stuff. Like it's like that's also just as hard. So really, it's choose your heart. You know, choose which one you want to do. I would choose my business any day, like over that, because I think it's just you're building a life of freedom.
Freedom.
Like
Yeah.
and that way, like I could go fuck off and go to Thailand again, or I could just stay in LA for a whole year, or I can, I can do all of that. So you have a
The
choice
option.
versus what the situation you're in now. You really don't have an option. You have to
Yeah.
just kind of go where the money goes. So
Yeah.
can I shout out my
Sure.
coach? I really want to emphasize like if you are wanting like a freedom filled life and like to create your own business. And like the thing with my coach, she doesn't just tell you to build a business so you can make cash. She finds out what your passion is and how you can monetize it. So her name is Krista Romano. Her podcast is called the Digital Nomad Life Podcast. And I highly, highly recommend if that's something like that you're itching towards.
That's great. I'm going to check that out. Good resource
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah,
100%.
you know James for real. You need to be listening to her podcast. Like,
Yeah. I
I'll
need
send
to
you some
start doing.
episodes. Like
Sure.
it's
Yeah.
definitely there's a lot of there's a lot of mindset stuff that she talks about too.
I think, interestingly, I'm in this like weird peace at the minute because I'm accepting that I'm just not traveling as much because I've done that for a year in 2023. And now it's the odd bit of travel, but I'm trying to scale the business, trying to do the podcast and YouTube thing, right? So I can't accept that this phase is that. And it needs work, it needs time, and it needs effort. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
The downside is, can I say it? I'm not sure. The downside is it's not where I want to be. So it's quite frustrating to be trying to do that alongside my actual job and not having much time left over. And add to that, if I'm doing YouTube or podcasts and I need stories,
Yeah.
I need to go and see some places. So
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, how do I deal with this?
Literally, like you actually like it's part of your job to go experience stories.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. No, that we need to talk about that. Like when you're building your digital nomad business, like you probably will be working while doing that. So you
Yep.
need to like you're gonna have to sacrifice things. Like Yeah, I've sacrificed a lot to build my business. So, but then it's so fucking worth it. It's so worth it.
It
Like
is worth it. Yeah, yeah,
just
100%.
that's why I hired a coach because I'm one of those people like I want to expedite the process as long as short as possible. So I
Mm,
hire coaches for things. So I wanted to like learn about sales. I hired a sales coach, you know.
yeah.
I got a business coach because I'm like, it's not a if, it's a when, and I want to make sure the win is now. Like
Yes.
as soon as possible.
Yeah, yeah.
So
As soon as possible. Yeah.
but that if you're in that position where you're like, oh, like I want to be a digital nomad, but I'm still working my job, like yeah, you're gonna have to do both for a little bit.
And how did you learn about yourself on this journey about how you work as digital
Mm.
nomad? Like, do you work better in the mornings? How do you structure your day?
I It depends on like the place. So in Lisbon, I was going out till like should I say it? 5
Yeah.
a.m.
Yeah.
Lisbon,
I've heard worse.
I partied every single day of the week. That was the most I've ever partied in my life. And so I was waking up at 2 p.m. getting work done. My clients would wake up in New York and I'd be like, hey, just so hungover. But I'm friends with all my clients. So like that's another thing that adds that relaxed thing in my
Yeah.
business. But then, in Thailand, like the day is so beautiful. So you might want to be out
Mm,
at the pool all day and then get your work done. And like it depends on the country. I do work better in the mornings.
yeah.
I do work well. I actually now my schedule is like 10 to 3, 10 to 4.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I like to have
Core
really
hours.
yeah.
Corporate
Depends.
term.
Sometimes I work like a full 8-hour day,
Yeah.
like or 9. But I like to have really long mornings. I'm going to the gym, I'm going on walks, like chilling and then get my day started. But that's the cool thing when you have your own business, like it can
Mm,
just be whatever you want.
yeah,
Like
that's the thing, isn't it?
you can claim like you can have whatever client you want, you can have whatever boundaries you want with your time. It's all up to you.
And it's the freedom, though. Like, you're not bound by having to be on a laptop for 8 or 9 hours a day at a certain time.
No,
That's the
like
freedom.
today like I went to the gym and then I got on this call.
Hang on. You're
I'm
3 hours
going
ahead.
I know I'm
No,
going to the
two?
pool after
No.
this. But then like there's some days where I'm like, okay, we gotta fucking work. Like last weekend I worked because I'm going to Mexico and I was like, I want to make sure when I
Yeah.
go to Mexico, I don't do a lot of work in Mexico, so I'm work on the weekends. So it all comes down to you. And it's not for everyone. I think you need the right mindset to have your own business. I think remote work is also a great option. If you can do it and you like working for someone, totally do remote work. I don't have any suggestions on how to find a remote job because I
Mm.
never had that knack of like resumes.
Oh,
I never had that knack. I've ever.
LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's the next step. If you can't do the big jump from I guess like an employee to a digital nomad with your own business, I think the step in between would be, well, let me get a remote job and see how
totally.
that works. That's a good step into the next part, I think.
Yeah, I think that's great. I found finding a remote job harder than building my own business. So I
Yeah.
built my business, but some people have they get corporate. And so I'm like, if you
Yeah.
get LinkedIn, if you get corporate, the biggest thing I would say is like lean on your strengths. Like how do you find jobs in general? Like
Yeah.
how do you if whatever that is, lean on that strength. I'm big into networking. I've never been into LinkedIn, so I find all my clients through networking. If you're really good at LinkedIn, that's how you'll find your remote job, I think.
Mm, I'm not very good at that.
Me either. It's so hard. It's very
Yeah.
hard.
I think that's another discussion, maybe offline, about my
Yeah.
thoughts on LinkedIn. I don't want to hurt myself and early doors trying to get some businesses and clients on the go.
Yeah, exactly.
So, if you were to do it again, your 10-month
Mhm.
trip, looking back, what would you do differently?
Then my last trip?
Yeah.
Honestly, nothing. I loved everything. Besides, in Australia, I would have just gotten my own place.
Mm,
That added a level of stress that did not need to be there. And it made Australia stressful. And I don't think I got to really like dive into the country as I would have if I had just had paid for like a nice place. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would have done anything different. Even though I got burnt out at the end, like I got to still experience Korea. And I don't regret not going to Japan because I want to go to Japan on a high.
you do.
I regret not seeing more of Portugal. That was a big fuck up. Like what an idiot. Like I just stayed in Lisbon and drank.
Yeah.
Like a idiot. Like
It's a small country as well.
yeah, I can't even talk to Portugal about people. They're like, "How is Portugal?" I'm like, "I literally don't know." I did. I went to the beach, which was like a 30-minute drive. That's actually such a loss. I'm upset about myself, but you know what? Sometimes you have to be a bad tourist,
Of
you know?
course. And you can always go back.
Yeah, you can
Conditional
always be a
nomad,
good
right?
tourist, and I can always go back and be a better tourist. And so that's how I'm gonna be a better tourist this time is, again, I'm gonna, like, learn more of the language, I take classes and, like,
Mhm.
make sure I'm actually seeing more of where I'm staying. That's what I regret.
Okay. And did you learn anything new about yourself?
Oh my god. I love that question. Whoa. Um, oh my god, I just feel like everyone I met was, like, a reflection of me. Like, everyone I've met was, like, I just met some incredible people, incredible people. I dated some incredible people. I think this year, traveling abroad, I dated some awesome people, and I think that changed me. So that really
Mhm.
changed me, the people I dated and the people I was friends with. And, yeah, I think I changed a lot. I just don't know. It's hard. I haven't reflected on it, actually.
Oh, okay. It's a bit raw.
Yeah,
For
no,
for
it's good. It was just
for
like it's like reflecting over a whole year. It's hard to process.
yeah. Like for the dating aspect, actually, we'll touch on it. Must be quite hard being digital nomad to date, right? Unless you're with someone already. Like, is
Yeah.
it always like fairly casual? Because how do you know where you're both going in 2 months'
Mhm.
time? How does that work?
I'm actually, like, the opposite when I'm dating abroad because 'cause I'm like, I don't think you have to do it casually. Like, I still had
Right.
my same, like, boundaries and same like, rules, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, we just started like, you date more intensely. It's, like, more passionate because you're
Yes.
like, "Okay, technically, we have 3 months together, but that doesn't mean we need to be acting like we're in a situationship. Like, why don't we spend these 3 months
Yeah.
truly as a boyfriend and girlfriend and, like, really be the most romantic, like, deep let's see how deep we can go." I think you can do that. You just need to communicate that. I think because
Mm.
there's a lot of I guess that's the thing I think with the digital nomads versus backpackers, especially in places like Thailand, you get to these places and there's a bunch of these, like, British boys who are, like, just there to party for 3 days and have sex with as many people as possible, and that's fine, but I think if you're actually dating, you just need to, like, I think you need to be around digital nomads and you need to just communicate. Like,
Yeah.
be like, "No, like, I'm only here for 3 months, but I actually like you and I want to actually just date you while I'm here." And,
Mhm.
I had a boyfriend, um, and we traveled together. Yeah, we were, like, together for, like, 6 or 7 months, and we bumped around countries together. But
Yeah.
then at the end, he realized he wants to live in Wales and, like, only live there, and he doesn't want a long-term relationship. So I was like, "Okay, well, then it must end. It sucks."
That's pretty savage, isn't it? It's interesting that he
Yeah.
wants to go back to Wales. Was he in the same situation as you, where he was like dotting around countries, doing that thing, and just seeing maybe somewhere new to live, or just seeing how that lifestyle works, or was he always thinking Wales? Do you think?
He got, like, laid off, like, his whole company, like, collapsed, like, they like,
Okay.
everyone got laid off, so he was like, "Well, I might as well go travel," and he was also building his business while
Yeah.
he was abroad, but then I think he realized, like, he's like he and I both realized he's an extreme homebody, like, he actually isn't that much of a traveler, so,
Ah,
yeah, he was
interesting.
just like, "I think I just wanna hang out and be in England," and I'm like, "I wanna go to California, I wanna go to New York, I wanna go here," and he was like, "I don't know if this is aligning anymore," and I was like, "Yeah, it isn't," but we had so much fun together, and I only have good things to say about him, so I guess that's what changed me. I think the people I met, oh my god, like, genuinely changed me a lot. I met so many different kinds of personalities, and everyone I met was just so wise, and, like, I just learned a lot. I think internet people who travel, we're very wise, like, I think more
Mm.
than other people.
No. I do love it. I love meeting those people. Yeah, they're like your true friends because they have the same interests and passion. True is probably a bit of a wrong word, really. Actually, probably more aligned with what you
Aligned.
think in this day and age. Whereas, like, we've all got school friends, maybe that from a very different time, where like
Yeah.
you've grown as a person, and they just gone a different way. So it's like that relationship does change. But yeah, I found actually that the last year or so, or 2 years, going to events, meeting travelers, digital nomads, I'm like, oh yeah, these are my people. So I do like that.
Yeah. I think the values that we have are similar, like, we're all into growth mindset and, like, we're all into curiosity, like, being curious and, um, I think yeah, I think that's what makes it special, and, like, we all know, like, okay, we maybe only be together for a few months, so we need to,
Yeah.
like, do everything together, and it's just so heightened. It's so heightened. Like, I would never move in with a man in less than a year, but, like, we're traveling. So we lived together in Vietnam, and I was like, "This is something I would just never do back home,
Yeah.
ever."
Yeah.
I would be like I would judge that person. I'd be like, "You're moving fast."
Very fast.
But
Yeah.
you're traveling, so, like, what are you gonna do?
I
You
know
know?
people at home, they move like lightning after 3 or 4 months they're in. It's like,
Yeah.
crikey.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think the people I met changed me. Like oh my gosh, like they have such a place in my heart. That people I met in Australia, Lisbon,
Mm.
Thailand, all these places there, and even like the locals. Oh my God, some of the locals I just will never forget, especially in Vietnam. Yeah, there's just a certain connections you make, and you're like, oh, I hate that I have to leave you.
Yeah, I think Vietnam's interesting. They've got such a young population. I think half of it is under 35 or
Oh,
40.
yeah,
So I think there's a big youthful population there. And as we all know, the youth and the older population, there's a difference because of just what happens
totally.
going through time. So yeah, it's quite an interesting country to be based. Like people might, if you're older, think, oh, that's still like the Vietnam War in the 60s. No, this is like a proper, not westernized, proper going country. That they are totally on it.
Oh,
Like
they're like
it's like going
economy is
home,
amazing.
Vietnam. Yeah.
Like they're doing so well, and the country's like it's getting so advanced, and they run it well. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just very impressed by Vietnam, and the people are so sweet. Like, well, not everywhere in the country. I would say like certain parts of the country, Vietnamese can either be hot or cold. I
Hmm.
think, and I'm talking about that. Maybe it has to do with the older generation. Like if you go into these small towns,
Oh
they
yeah.
might not smile. They might
Yeah.
be like, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah.
Like they're very blunt, and but then the younger population is very very sweet. Oh my gosh,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah. Love it. I think my biggest problem going into that world, I don't know if you have this or not, is I would always feel the itch to go somewhere new. So it'd be a new experience. Let's say I have a month on an island in Thailand, which I love. I
Hmm.
still think even if I love it after the month, I'm like, oh, I need to change it up. That's going to be my biggest problem, I think.
No, that's fine. Like, do it. I feel like
Mm.
your first trip as a digital nomad, you're gonna be like kid in a candy shop. You're gonna go crazy.
Yeah.
You're gonna go crazy and go to all these places, and then second trip, figure out the next one. But
Mm.
like, what's your like dream for like when you finally get your business like to the level you want?
Yeah, I'll give you top 5 countries if you want.
Yeah,
Spain.
interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
why
Uh,
Spain?
do you know what? I absolutely love that country, and I've just not done enough of it.
I love it.
I love the
People there are
culture.
cool.
I love the different parts of the country. So if you want a bit of coolness, go to the northwest, Galicia, really nice, green. But if you want that sun and just like to chill out, but maybe more in the wintertime, go south. Like, I just
Yeah,
love the thought of being in Spain.
I love it. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Bit cliche, but hey, Thailand. So I've
How
named the
how
two.
British of you to
I
want to be in
know.
Spain.
And number 2 is Thailand. That's the 2 biggest places
Oh
we
my
go
god.
to as holidays. Yeah.
This is top 5 British people places. Continue.
Yeah. So I'm going to get the details of your place that you stayed at in Thailand
I will tell
offline
you. Yes.
because I have this idyllic mind of not going to Koh Phi Phi or Penang or whatever, but there's like little islands like Koh Lipe and other ones that just not as sort of travelled as much. So I want to park myself on those islands. So yeah, Thailand is there. I think I'd like to do somewhere like Uruguay. Be quite cool.
Ah, I just met someone on a plane from Uruguay. She was so sweet. Like
Yeah,
that would
very
be no one
progressive.
goes there.
No one goes there. Speak a little bit of Spanish, so like go learn Spanish there. That'd be pretty cool. What else am I thinking? I think somewhere idyllic, like an island, but it
Mhm.
does depend on internet, doesn't it? But I've got this weird obsession with paradise, so maybe something like French Polynesia or
Oh
Cook
my gosh.
Islands.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. That would be so good.
And then the 5th place is East Asia, so it'd be somewhere like Taiwan, Japan, Korea, one of those 3.
I totally would go back to Korea. Like I want to go with someone next time because I
Yeah,
think I don't want to. I think again the culture isn't like super like, hey, how are you? Korea, I would totally go back there
yeah,
easily, easily.
100%.
I like those are great countries. Those are great. It's like a mix of like some nomad hubs and some that are not
Yeah,
like more adventurous.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
also what's underrated with travel and with digital nomad stuff is the weather, right? Can we touch on
Mhm.
this for a bit? Because if you're going to Southeast Asia, I don't think you want to be there when it's rainy season, right?
So now I'm like I have a secret about the rainy season in Thailand, but I'm like I don't.
Oh,
No, hey, I won't gatekeep too much. Okay, so apparently in Thailand, there's the rainy seasons they don't go like north to south, they go east to west. So when I got to
okay.
Thailand in September, like probably September 15th, like very close to now,
Mm.
I was in Phuket. Fucking pouring every day. I didn't see the sun for 7 days and I was like, I'm gonna get depressed in Thailand. Like that's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
And then I took okay, I'll say the island I went to. I flew to Koh Samui,
Oh, okay,
and
yeah.
which is
I
a
know
famous
Kusumi.
island,
Yeah.
but the where the co-living isn't in the main area. It's in,
Okay.
like, part of a smaller town.
Yeah.
I flew to Koh Samui, 2 months straight of perfection. But then
Mm.
November, the rain started heading to Koh Samui, and then Phuket gets sunny.
Ah,
So
interesting.
it goes
Okay.
east to west. It doesn't go
Mm.
north to south. So that's how the rainy season works in Thailand. So if you go to Thailand in the quote rainy season, like if you're on like the Koh Samui Koh Phangan side, you'll be fine in September.
Yeah.
But go ahead and move to Phuket side in November, December.
Yeah. Koh Lipe side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
little secret for y'all.
Or Koh Lanta, chill island.
Koh Lanta, yeah. There's so many islands in Thailand. Oh my god.
No, this is what I mean, right? This is why it's
So
number 2.
good. I
Yeah.
love Thailand. I genuinely if the whole world was like Thailand, we would have peace. Like,
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
there's no way. Like, Thailand is how the world should be, I think.
Yeah. Apart from its border with Cambodia, that was a bit hairy, wasn't it? Sort of firing at each other. Okay. And lastly, on this bit, any advice you'd give to someone who's maybe leading up to changing their lifestyle to be a digital nomad? Anything you'd say?
Um, I would say genuinely listen to that podcast, the Digital Nomad Life
Yeah.
podcast. You really yeah. If you have, like, already experience of having your own business, then, like, honestly, yeah, you can also just reach out to me if you have questions. I love talking about entrepreneurship stuff. I'll shout out my stuff later, like my
Yeah.
Instagram, but you can come out to me. But I think consuming the right podcasts, hiring a coach, getting in those circles, you need a little bit of a crew if you're about to change something in your life, whether it be fitness, whether it be mindset, whether it be your business. You need to have a support system because you're gonna have those days where you're like, is this worth it? And you need someone to be like, shut the fuck up. Yes, it is. But I would start with the podcast, Digital Nomad Life podcast, and tell me that doesn't change your damn life. Like, it's so good.
And judging from this conversation, I think the 3 things I've learned, the keys to being a digital nomad are you need your own business or your own income, or at least work remotely for a
Yeah, but
company.
the remote jobs can sometimes limit you to where you can go. So it depends on how much freedom you want.
Yeah. I actually think it's quite hard to find that freedom in
I
that job.
I know, 'cause I think finding a remote job is actually just as hard personally, unless that's like something you do easily.
I think I'd rather stay at home, have a normal job than work towards being a digital nomad. I think that'd be much easier.
Too, because then you get to have like lifetime freedom.
Yeah. Okay. Number 2, have a home base. Now,
Yeah.
the reason I say this because I know you learnt this on your trip, but I've learnt this on my backpacking trip in 2023, even before I'm anywhere near being a digital nomad, because I just think sometimes you just need to go home, don't you? And just like chill out for a month or see friends or just create stuff.
Yes.
And it's quite stressful if you're trying to maybe find an Airbnb and it's not quite the right room or it's just the expense and it's like, oh.
Yeah, it's like the exhaustion wears on you slowly, like to the point where then you just are burnt out. So I absolutely agree on having a home base. Like, I can't wait till I have one.
Same. And number 3 is there's difference between backpacking and being a digital nomad. So you need to work out for your year, for example, how you're going to marry the 2 if you really want to do both, because you can't consistently do both intertwined 1 week here and there. Because I think, let's be realistic, if you're going to have a business and you've got clients, I think you just need like a month to get stuff done, don't you? Or at least the first 3 weeks of the month to get your work done. Then you can maybe have a week, right? You need to figure that out.
Yeah, it depends on your business, but like if it's a good business, then you do need to be working on it a lot. Like, it's not just, oh, I have clients. Like, you need to be thinking about how can I market? How can I scale? You are going to be wearing all the hats in the business. This is what people don't talk about. Like, you are all the hats. You need to be also learning just always learning, like reading knowledge, if you really want to like have a successful business. So it's all give or take. Both are hard. It's hard being a backpacker with $300 left. It's hard being a remote worker knowing you can't go to Asia. And it's hard having your own business knowing like it's a skill. You need to learn how to be a businessman, woman. Choose your hard.
Yeah, very hard. Okay. And talking business, let's go to the last part of the episode. So tell us about your business, what it's called, what you offer, and if people are interested, how they get in contact with you for that.
Yes, my business is called Your Girl Media. It's pretty niche. I work with 6 to 7 figure coaches. I have a boutique agency for coaches. So like, my God, I can handle anything from like podcasting, YouTube, SEO, CRMs, funnels, but I specialize also in high ticket sales. So if you have a high ticket offer in your coaching program, I'm personally only going to work with one client closing them, but I have a matchmaking service so I can set you up and connect you to setters and closers. So why would you go anywhere else? I'm your girl, essentially. Like if you're a coach, like literally, why would you go anywhere else? I have everything you need. And again, I niche down to work with coaches because I realized as a podcast producer working on passion projects, that shit gonna run dry.
Yeah, it does not pay.
It's gonna run dry at some point. So like with coaches, they need me. I genuinely am bringing, like, for example, my client Krista, actually the girl I was talking about, my coach, she's my client. I brought her $1 million in sales from her podcast.
What?
She needs me. She will keep me on her payroll.
She will.
Yeah. So that's why I specialize in coaches, and because coaches have changed my life. So Your Girl Media, and my Instagram is at Your Girl Media.
Okay.
Yeah.
And any like social media for that?
Yeah, the Instagram for that is Your Girl Media, and then for the website, yeah, I'll probably just send you that. It's yourgirlmedia.com.
Yeah, put it in the show notes. Okay. And then your podcast, the Culture Cult Travel Show.
My stepchild I love. I really can't wait to get back to focusing on. Oh my God. Yeah. So my podcast, like the reason I started it is because, I grew up in Alabama, and I grew up very, very ignorant. And I know a lot of Americans don't travel a lot, and they can be quite ignorant. And I don't think that should stop you from learning about the world. Maybe if you can't travel, or but you still want to learn about different countries. I'm on the mission to learn about every country in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And through that, I also tell the craziest fucking story you ever heard from that country. So yeah, it's fun, not PG, but it's all about like, it's okay to ask questions. It's okay to learn about each other. And I do think if we learned about each other and lived in less fear-based world, then we could live in a better place. Like, for example, if we learned about Zimbabwe, instead of like judging someone, you could be like, oh my God, Zimbabwe, I actually know a weird fact about Zimbabwe. Boom, you just connected.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really about learning about every country in the world and being less ignorant.
Yeah, it's a great podcast. It mixes history and travel. So you get the both worlds of crazy stories, but also some historic content for the country that you talk about, or place in the country, right? So
yeah,
well recommend people checking that out. And yeah, you need to do more. So crack on.
I know. So I'm going to ask your audience, actually, because I might need some help. So next season, I'm covering Scotland, Australia, and Iran. Yep. I am struggling on covering a story for Iran. I don't want to cover what they cover. There's so much more to that country. So if any of y'all are Iranian, or y'all have a good story, please hit me up, because I feel like I want to cover your country with justice. That doesn't sound right. I want to cover your country well. With justice. No, I want to do your country justice.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
What it's called. So yeah. My Instagram is at Culture Cult Show, and my podcast is the Culture Cult Travel Show. So if any of y'all are Iranian, or if you want your country covered, like hit me up. Like I would love to cover your country.
Awesome. So I'll put all those links in the show notes. So Marie, any lasting sentences about, I don't know, life or travel or digital nomad? Anything you want to share before we close up?
I just want to say all of y'all are cool as fuck, because if you're wanting to learn about other cultures and wanting to put yourself out of your comfort zone and like just actually live life at the fullest, and you also are aware that we only have this life and you're going to go for it and travel, y'all are fucking cool. Like, don't take that shit for granted. Everyone who listens to this podcast is very special.
Amazing. Marie, thanks for coming on the podcast. It's been a great chat, great laugh, and you're always welcome back at any time.
Yes, and you're coming on my show soon, so we'll hear your crazy travel stories.